welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about why your skincare products are not and may not be working. So one of the first things that I just want to go over is the fact that you should be having a complete skincare regimen if you're looking for results. Like, you shouldn't just be cleansing, you shouldn't just be moisturizing, you shouldn't just be doing one thing out of this list that I'm about to put up. You shouldn't just be doing one. You need to be doing the whole thing to see the results. It's a sequence like that for a reason. If you're not exfoliating enough. So if you're not exfoliating, depending on your skin type, condition, concern, and other environmental factors, whether you have eczema, those all play factors into how often you should be exfoliating. But let's say it ranges anywhere from 1 day a week to 3 days a week. On the 1 day a week side, you're going to be more dry, sensitive skin type. That 3 day a week side, you're going to be oily and congested. So normal to medium, normal to oily should be right there hitting that two to 3 times a week mark, depending on breakout frequency, texture, congestion, activity for the week, etc. You have to be exfoliating. If you're not exfoliating, how do you expect the product to absorb into your skin when you have this layer of gunk all on your skin? How do you think the product that you're putting in your skin is going to get in there? Cleansing's not enough. We all know that. And sometimes you guys don't even cleanse long enough. So that's another thing. If you're literally only doing the cleanse and then you put on like your $80 serum and you only cleansed once and you had on a full face of makeup that day, you just wasted your money. So you want to cleanse for at least 30 to 60 seconds. I say 60. Circular motions, okay, is really important to make sure you're cleansing long enough and exfoliating so that it creates a blank canvas for all of the products that you have bought to see results with. Is not applying the product correctly. So let's say, for example, you have your AM cream and then your night cream. I know a popular one is oil of Olay, which I'm not a fan, but that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. If you're putting on that AM cream that specifically says day cream at nighttime and you're waking up and you're like, oh, my face is dry, I don't want to hear it. If you're wearing your daytime cream, if you're wearing your nighttime cream during the daytime, which are always, no doubt about it, 99.9% of the time are heavier, and you're wearing that during the day, let's say it's summertime, and you're like, I don't know, it's too thick for me, I'm breaking out. I don't want to hear it. You're not using them correctly. So day creams are for the daytime, night creams are for the nighttime. You can find a great median with a nice medium weight moisturizer, which is what I typically go to, but not applying the product correctly also has a lot to do with layering. So some people will sit there and have like 50,000 serums on their counter for the night, and it's like, okay, cool, but you're not going to be able to use all those products in enough time to, number one, see results or really understand which product is giving you the results. Number two, you're not going to use all the product. Like, to just, unless you're putting one on your elbow here and there, you're just not going to use all of it, and you're not going to get the best use out of it. Kind of referring back to the clean slate. So after you've cleansed and exfoliated, you're going to start putting on your serums. So your serum should go from the lightest molecular size to the heaviest. So if you have a very watery, runny serum, put that one on first. Then if you step up a notch and it's your more viscous, maybe like a gel type, then I would put that one on second. And then I would really stop there, because our skin is the most absorbent at night. So it's going to absorb during the daytime too, because it's dehydrated. We lose a lot of water when we sleep, but you just don't want to be packing on too much. You want your skin to be able to eat up what you don't want to put too much on its plate. Don't put too much on its plate. Okay? Don't put too much on its plate, but apply what you need, not what you think you need, not what you want, but apply what you need, which is going to include going to see a professional to actually know what you need. Not applying them correctly, and since that you are also not letting the product absorb into your skin long enough until you put on the next product. And back to the whole layering thing, my personal rule, like I said, I wouldn't do more than 3 serums, because you want to make sure you're seeing results from the products that you already purchased. And I feel like that's what a lot of people will do sometimes, is they'll buy a product and either they won't give the product enough time to work, or you'll be using it with so many other things that you think it's not working. Whatever the case may be, I just feel like you should keep it simple. Simple is best, but your regimen should be effective, but it should be simple. So it should be very, very customized to your needs. So I would much rather have my pre-cleanse, cleanse, and exfoliant, and then my serums. Let's say I'm mostly concerned about keeping my breakouts at bay. I'm going to get me a nice concentrated corrective serum, whether that be niacinamide with some salicylic acid, or 2% salicylic acid concentrate. And then I'll probably add on one more thing that's an antioxidant or a hydrating peptide-ish on the more anti-aging side. So there's definitely ways that you can make sure your regimen is effective, but simple. Simple is best. Expiration. So a lot of people don't think that beauty products have expiration dates, but just like everything else in your house has expiration dates. If a battery dies, then your product is gonna die eventually. And die, what I mean by die is when a product is formulated, every single product has to have some sort of preservative. Doesn't matter if it's the most natural brand on this earth, there still has to be some sort of preservative. We know most of us all know that salt is a natural preservative. So think of it in that case. Don't get scared and be like, I'm never buying products again, but everything has to be preserved in some way. So if you look on the back of your treatment bottle, whatever you're using, cleanser, whatever the case, mask, whatever it is, it's going to have a little jar on it. That little jar on the back with the lid lifted, and it'll either say 6M, 12M, 24M. After 6 months, after 24 months, after 12 months, the product is expired. That's telling you that after that amount of time, throw it away, because there is no guarantee that the preservatives that they formulated that product with are still functioning in there to keep all the bacteria out. So if you're using an expired product, let's say you're especially concerned about breaking out, and you're sitting here using a 2-year-old bottle that I'm pretty sure has bacteria growing in it, especially if you got some water in it. That's another thing. Please keep water out of your products. That's why jarred products are cool, but please make sure that they stay dry on the inside. Just like how some people like to still use bar soap, make sure your bar soap is dry, because you don't want that scummy, you just don't want anything growing inside of your product that doesn't need to be there, or decreasing the efficacy of the product. Okay, so this next topic strongly ties into the other topic I was gonna choose a video between. This topic is product has a low concentration of ingredients. So this has a lot to do with how much you paid for your product or where you got your product from. I'm just gonna start off with anything in Sephora. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it, because it's just, they're all mass produced, genius marketing, because you guys are buying that, but it's mass produced products. So some of them are better than the others. Some of them may still do animal testing. When you are dealing with professional products, you know everything up front. So in Ulta, you can find some good brands here and there, like I love Dermalogica. I know they carry Murad. But you want to keep that into consideration whenever you're buying something. So whenever I have some clients who ask me, like, they're looking for a different price point, I'll always shoot them over to Whole Foods if I know that they are very strict on their budget, because Whole Foods, as most of you guys know, has all natural everything in the store. There's nothing in the store is not ethically sourced. So Whole Foods, I love their products, some of the products in there, some. But like I said, whenever it comes to price point, you have to take into consideration, back to the formulation of the product. they're not going to spend as much money trying to source the best product ingredients on a $10 tube of cleanser versus a $34 cleanser that they sat there and did clinical trials. They made sure everything was sourced. They ran tests on each product ingredient to make sure that the molecular size, the concentration, all of that, it's science, guys. All of that was perfectly formulated. They're going to try their delivery system to make sure that the product ingredient that they chose is actually being delivered to the skin. Very important. You will never see results if the product you're using has no delivery system. That is so important. So that has a lot to do with it. If you have your Walmart cleanser and your Clean and Clear scrub, I don't want to talk about it because it's nothing that I can really help you with at that point. Because if you think it's working, then that's going to be up here, always and forever. But if you're using it and you see that it's not working, then we can talk because you understand it's not working. Now, genetics is another thing. Some people can use a bar of soap their whole life and be perfectly fine. And some people can have acne and literally have a 10-step regimen and go get facials every week. But if your genetics and if at the end of the day you're not doing your part to be the healthiest version of you, let me say this. If all the gears inside of your car are rusted and grinding, how do you think your car is going to sound? How do you think it's going to sound? It's going to sound a mess. It's going to drive a mess. So if you're not taking the proper precautions to fuel your body and grease up those gears to make sure they're grinding correctly, aka our organs, which the skin is our largest organ, then your skin is going to show that. There's no way around it. It's going to show. Last reason why your products might be working. Hopefully I covered a good amount of ground and hopefully some people learned some things from watching this video. But the last thing is not wearing sunscreen. And honestly, I have to say that I was guilty of this even as an esthetician because it's really something that a lot of people don't feel like they need. But sunscreen, SPF sunscreen, the same thing, sun protectant factor, you need it. Let me tell you why real quick. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It does, but it doesn't. It does in the sense that, of course, if you're a darker skin type, you have more melanin, you have more melanocytes. So that melanin is going to help defend against the sun a little bit more. Cool. We can all still get skin cancer. So that's not what that means. You're wearing sunscreen to simply protect, yes, all the environmental pollutants from the sun, but your collagen. You want your skin to stay like tight, right? Like a nice tight. So every single day that you step out into the sun bare, especially long amounts of time, you're killing your collagen producing cells, which are called fibroblasts. So something called free radicals will literally go in, get absorbed by the skin, go into the skin, find a cell, manipulate that cell, destroy that cell, basically jump the cell, take the collagen away, and it's never going to give the cell is just there. It's shook. It's like, what is going on? So it can no longer produce collagen anymore. So let's say you went out for 40 minutes and you went to go tan and you didn't put on any sunscreen and you're like, oh, I got my tan. Another thing, a tan is simply a sign from your body telling you that you have overexposure of the sun. So a tan is not good. It looks good, but a tan is not good. It's one of the most beautiful ways our body speaks to us, but it's not the best. It's kind of yelling at you a little bit. So in the sun for 40 minutes, you probably killed you definitely killed over 100 cells that were producing collagen perfectly fine before you went to go sit in the sun for 40 minutes. Now you have X amount of cells that aren't producing collagen anymore. So your skin's gonna get thinner, it's gonna not be as strong. Like I said, it's not gonna be as tight. So those are all just things to consider. Has nothing to do with how your product's gonna work, but that's just a really important fact. The reason why I say wear sunscreen is just to protect your skin. Just protect your skin. I just gave you a little bit of insight about the cells. That's one of the trillion things that go on that our skin takes on and endures all that trauma in just those 40 minutes. It could even be like 10, honestly, but it is still good to get a little bit of bare sun exposure, I would cap it at 15 minutes, really seriously cap it at 15 minutes. But yeah, sunscreen every day. You're really supposed to be applying it every 2 hours. If you are someone who is trying to get rid of dark spots and you've been using product, let's say Urban Skin RX, I know is popular for hyperpigmentation. I'm not a fan of, but that's another video for another time. That if you're not wearing sunscreen with it, hopefully they put sunscreen in the kit that people buy, but you're not protecting your melanin. You're not protecting your melanocytes. Your melanocytes are still going to overproduce because you're not protecting them. It's just like taking candy away from a kid and not consoling them. You're just gonna let them keep crying. So wear your sunscreen, guys.